Tarla, Discover Your Center, and taking a little walk, kind of closing off a portion of my work day here and transitioning. Kind of been pulsing a little bit today. Around here it's Wellness Wednesday, and so I do a lot with my kids on Wednesdays, or I try to be available. How about you? How's everybody navigating the pandemic and kids at home, if you have them at home, or different routines and rhythms? I'm creating this video today because Monday night, I think in my yoga class, someone asked about how to, what was I doing to prepare for? Actually, I think they asked if I had any tips on how to really prepare for Tuesday and the election here in the US. And I said, well, I can share what I'm doing and why, and you can see if anything resonates with you or if it ignites something in you, sparks something that will really nourish you. So for me personally, what I am doing is what I have been doing for many, many years now. It's kind of what I do. I help women navigate life transitions. And this is yet another one, right? It's another moment of uncertainty. And boy, you'd think that we'd be getting really good at this this year in 2020. But yeah, there's a lot. And I am doing both a lot for the body and for the being. And those things never are really separate from me. So in my own body and energy, I'm looking at what's happening around us as well, right? We are nature, nature is us. And I just finished the Rejuve and Reset cleanse, a seasonal cleanse with an amazing group of women. We talked a lot about beyond food and nutrition. We talked a lot about how we nourish all of ourselves. And you know, you could be eating the most pristine, healthy diet, but if you're stressed, or when you're eating, you're angry, or your life is not just being digested well, your emotions are not being digested well and moving through, well, that will disrupt your digestion, and you will feel many other, it's kind of a ripple out effect, symptoms, I might say. So, energy right now that is strongest is the force of movement, and it has a lot of air and a lot of space in it. Sometimes that can make us feel like we're a little airy-fairy or ungrounded. And then we have all this uncertainty and unknownness ahead of us. So one, I'm looking to ground. Not to be tethered, but to be me. So we don't want to find these grounding and then tools and then collapse, and then we use them to restore so that we can rise back up. And for me, that looks like a daily massage with oil. I do this before or after my bath, and I've talked a lot about that before. I can share here. It's warm, it's nourishing. You could even warm your oil, and it's grounding. And in Sanskrit, the word for oil is sneha, and that's the same word for love. I love that little piece when I learned that from one of my teachers. So it's like starting with self-connection and self-love and self-compassion, and then letting that lead my day. I also am looking at breath, just really making sure that I am expanding, getting breath all the way down into the root of me, moving breath all the way up and expanding it out and in, and just feeling like there is a fullness within me and in my lungs. I am also kind of pulsating between both a more active exercise and activity, like even brisk walks. And then I'm also looking at a lot of yin yoga or restorative yoga. And why do I do both? Because I think it's important that we pulse between both. And we really tune in when we're doing that with what's going on in your nervous system, like what's going on in your world, your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions. And because there once was a time that I was just so busy, and I started moving into all these beautiful grounding practices. And the more I did them, they felt so wonderful. But what ended up happening is along the way, I gave up some of the more active things, and I moved into an almost freeze state in my nervous system. And then I had to learn how to come out and learn, how do we activate and come back to rest, and activate when we need to be activated and come back to rest. And so when I pulse with different practices, one might say like a yin yang, way of practice, then I am able to be more steady and centered, and ready to pivot depending on what's happening. All right. when we're facing unknown uncertainties, then I think it's important to be able to pivot, important to be able to be really present. Birds are contributing. So, breath, self-massage, tuning into how you need to move, and hydration, because we're in a drier season. And that may mean beyond just the water, okay? It's not just about the water you drink, but what are other hydrating practices? You know, the oil on the skin is one, but I love ghee this time of year. If ghee is not your thing, you know, some kind of good oils and fats that you're getting in and nourishing on the inside out. Again, for me, this feels very grounding, especially when the force of movement is outside and things are drying. It's really, these tips are what have been sustaining me through many changes the last several years, long before pandemic. Then energetic tools are really fun, you guys. Like, okay, there's a big collective energy happening. Who does this belong to when all of a sudden something sets in, or I wake up in a funk, and kind of tuning into what do I need to nourish my body, my mind, my soul, my emotions, and how much of this is even mine, and anything that is just, I'm holding for the collective. I'm aware of what other people are feeling and sensing. Can I release that and trust that when I really choose for me and nourish this body, this soul, this energy, that I do have the capacity to be strong, to be steady, to be centered, to be clear, and then hold space for all the other people in my life, you know, and your life. So is that family? Is that neighbors? Is it co-workers? Is it community? Are you canvassing right now? Are you like aging parents? All of these things, all of the many ways that we show up and hold spaces for others. So what is that for you? And are you willing to give yourself what you need first to nourish, to center, and to really be ready to pivot? And that's what's happening around here. Oh, there's one more. I mean, I'm outside here because I've been trying to just be outside as much as possible, because nature is here and always wants to support you and gift you. So feel your feet on the ground, you know, bring your senses into the experience. Like, notice the smells, listen with your ears, even if it's loud trucks going by. You can hear the birds too. Taking in with your eyes. If you've been on Zoom a lot, you know, just cover your eyes and feel the warmth of your hands over your eyes. And sunrise, sunset. I love to get up and let the sun remind me, hey, it's a new day. How do I want to create it? And at the end of the day, letting go and digesting. Really, actually, literally taking time to let my dinner digest, but then also my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, letting them move through, finding some celebrations, some gratitudes from the day, and really tuning in toward what would I like more of. So go out into the world, be you, find ways to nourish you. If any of this resonated, wonderful, let me know. I love to hear that. Or maybe it just ignited or sparked something for you, and now you can go out and find that, choose that, be that, do that, and know that you are worth it. You always are, you always have been, always will. I think that's part of it, when we really can, and this is a practice for me always, I'm not saying I have this down perfect, but when we can acknowledge that we are inherently whole, right? Inherently whole, then our eyes are open to seeing everyone else and everything else as that. And we can create these spaces of wholeness and healing and nourishment and nurture, and really function from center and work for the world that we know is possible and the change we want to see in it. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you.